Up and ready to go. Alright, so hello everyone and welcome back to Factorio. Now let's click resume, and when we last left off, we were trying to figure out how to get fusion generators to not be terrible. And I have seen an idea. To be honest, I looked it up. And I'm also going to be honest, the thing that I looked up was somewhat low resolution and zoomed out a lot. So, I know, like, the general gist that it's something like... Let's see here. It's something like this. And then you just sort of loop this around like this. Something like that, but then we need to give it more space. So then this one goes like that maybe, and then... Okay, so this doesn't work because... Wait, no. I think it does? So if we put plasma in there, then it loops out all the way, and I guess we can do that too. Now, I don't know if this will work with the heat pipes or anything, but we put plasma in there, then... No, that's definitely not right, because it needs to do something different, which I don't fully understand. Okay, so let's... So it's something like this, I think, but not quite. So if we do this, this loops all the way around, right? So it's just these last ones where... No, wait, this does work. Except that this can't get in. Right, so we can go from this one into that one, but we can't go from this one into that one. So that's why that doesn't... That's why that breaks. So if this last one is just something like this, maybe... Let's see here. We need to feed... I mean, it would have to be something like this, but then this pipe doesn't work. So we would need to... Actually, maybe this does work? So if we get the heat pipe along this way, that would heat up that entire thing, and then this should work, I think. And then we just sort of loop the heat pipes around, or the fluoroketone pipes around. So this is 7 compact fusion generators. Now, can we scale this even more? So all of those are connected up by a heat pipe, which reaches everywhere it needs to reach. The plasma goes in there, then goes up to those two, then goes across to those two, and then down to those two. So yeah, the plasma reaches everything in here. And the heat pipes would go around like this, basically. And that would get them all heated up. And then the reactor would obviously just be somewhere like this, or whatever. And that would give us 7 generators per reactor in a confined space. But technically we need more than that. So let's see if we can expand this out. So we have outputs here. So let's take this area out. And if we can just get you in like that, then we can just repeat. Okay, not quite. That doesn't work. Does this work? If you go there and we start the circle around again. So this, then we can just continue to loop, right? How did I do this? Right, and then this one goes like that, and this one goes like that. So something like this works, and let's see if we can get the pipes all connected up. So this goes around like that. Heat pipes go into there. Then this goes up and around. And then, okay, I don't know how we connect up to this pipe in this scenario then. But it should be possible, right? We have the space for it. So if we... This heat pipe... Okay, wait, no, this... We can just do that, and this heat pipe goes diagonal up to there. And I believe that this works. Alright, that's cool. Now we are apparently 243 concrete short of building all of this stuff. Which we're also like using a whole bunch of the space in here. So we need to continue expanding this stuff out so that we have more room in this cargo landing pad. Otherwise, that's going to have serious issues. And we're going to have to run down there to probably get these placed and powered up. Okay, so now we've cleared that out. Oh, but because we're storing things out here, it means that this is going to be constantly requesting new items, which is not what we want. But for now it's fine, and we can dump down all of that concrete of both types. Just because we're going to need it. We're going to need to build something, some platform on this scale at some point, even if it isn't literally this one. So we're going to need the concrete to do that. Okay, so this setup here basically does all that we need it to do. And let's just let's just copy this as our fusion generator setup. It's 14. Oh wait, no, not copy. Blueprint. Wrong button. Blueprint U as fusion generator stack. So we have that blueprint. Very cool. Now we just need to, I guess, just get this connected up. Oh, I didn't put the heat pipes in. I need to do that then. So these need to all get placed so that the whole thing is actually heated properly. And I could have sworn I sent down like hundreds upon hundreds of... Oh, it's all going into this thing again, isn't it? Yeah, that's what's happening. Okay, so you need to just get rid of all that stuff and send it out elsewhere, where it can go and build some stuff. And that has caused problems with the drone ports because drones are annoying like that, but it's fine. So that's all getting built now. And well, this was the one we turned off. It's just creating rocket silos, which we definitely don't need. Okay, so this is output full. We've only got the one fusion reactor to spare, and then we're hopefully going to be spending the rest of our resources making the generators. So that is good. It means we just need all of this stuff to get built up over time. Okay. So let's see, this stack of fusion generators, it is fine, I think, as long as we set it up into these. So let's get this set up then. So we are going to dismantle some of these reactors, and then we're going to start just converting this into a proper power plant. Of course, it'll take a long time for all the generators to show up, but it'll happen eventually. Also, every single one of the construction bots is charging at this one drone port. And if I try to place another one, they're going to have to go and build it, which is going to be terrible. So yeah, that is not going super great in terms of speed. I think that needs a power line. We need a little bit more concrete here. And I think we also need... I'm pretty sure we got these delivered, right? At some point? Yes. A whole bunch of extra construction bots, which we can throw in there. And those should then get us covered for all the construction needs. This is so painful to watch. This is actually just the worst thing ever. Alright, speaking of terrible things, our research hasn't been going super well. Why is that? Research over here is missing cryogenic science. Now, is one of you... No, you aren't carrying science. You aren't carrying science. You aren't carrying science. So, not only is there no science to be had... Okay, there's no lithium plates, is the problem. So the lithium plates are all going in to fill up this giant box. But they're almost done. So let's just set that down so that future lithium plates can go forwards to make science. Okay, how has this construction been going? Pretty terribly, I would say. Still missing a little bit of concrete there to get placed in before the second drone port can go in and help them charge. Okay, it got placed. Now it's powering up. And we need the heat pipes as well. building on Aquilo just requires so many steps. Like, in order to place anything, you need 3 drones. You need an ice block drone, a concrete drone, and the actual drone carrying the object itself. Which is certainly not very efficient. Alright, but I think we're getting there. So the number of drones still waiting to charge is getting fixed. There we go. So now we have a second drone port option here, which basically doubles the rate at which things can charge at this particular spot, which is quite nice to have. Alright, so this is all built in except for the generators. So then the next step is we need the cryogenic plant for the fluoroketone processing, and we might need a couple of them. Actually, how fast is this? This one is 20. Okay, so we need one of those, and we need the actual fusion reactors themselves. So let's get these in. And if we do something like this, then, I mean, something like this is basically optimal layout for for the neighboring bonuses, which apparently when I looked up, they only function properly if you're using the full capacity of the reactors. So this is such extreme overkill that it's actually quite inefficient. But it's fine. It's fine. We can just deal with the inefficiencies, no big deal. Okay, so if we have this set up, then this reactor here can't get anything out. So we can't basically use these 2 reactors with this setup because neither of them have any outputs. So what we need then is, I guess, for that to be, if this is placed over like this, and then we need to get this just into our game blueprints. And okay, so can we fit another one of these stacks in here, like if we flip it somehow? Okay, I think maybe if we flipped both of them. So let's clear all this. Actually, wait, we need to, this blueprint here wasn't complete, right? So that blueprint goes away. Then we blueprint this as our fusion generator stack. Create blueprint. Okay, now that we have that blueprint and we pop it into there, we can deconstruct that, get rid of all of that, and our poor drones are going to be quite busy with that process. Let's deconstruct those 2 just in case. So if we get these, then let's see. So we want this to be like the bottom one, and we put it down here somewhere. Then we flip these vertically, and they can share the heat pipe down the middle like that, and go in like that. Now, if we put our fusion generators in, we have Okay, not enough space to use all of the fusion generators, basically. So, that is not ideal. And we're going to need to fix that up somehow. Apparently we still need more construction bots. More realistically, though, it's this whole charging mess which is the problem. At least we have 2 of them running. But let's just get even more. Heat pipes across, and those look like they're within range of existing power poles. Alright, and they have been set up to run, so that should happen, and we just need this so that we can get our drone charging done at a reasonable rate. Speaking of getting things done, is this running again? Yes, this is running again, making us some more cryogenic science. So that's good. Payload support 2 still doesn't have any, but hopefully it'll get there eventually. Alright, so if we have this as our setup, then it doesn't quite line up the way we need it to, because the inputs are too far apart when they're like this. So we need to actually take all this stuff apart, and those poor drones. I feel so bad for the poor drones. Once these get placed in, it'll be twice as good again, but it's still pretty rough. So I need to just like design this out of drone range somewhere, just so that they stop coming out to actually try to do stuff. So if we design this out here, the drones won't try to do anything about it, which means we can design without causing chaos. So the input to this stack is up here, which means that we need this to sort of scale down this way instead of up that way, so that it can sort of expand outwards diagonally. So how do we go about doing that? So if we take all of that part out, and all of that as well. Okay, so you are going to output like that, but instead, is this possible? Okay, doing it like this for maximum compactness isn't possible, but if we go out like this, then we have room, I think. And we just do this loop again. And not quite. Not quite in that way. That would be very... Actually, wait, no, it does, because this is out here. Right. I don't know why I keep thinking we have to get both of the fluoroketone outputs, but it's just whichever is more convenient for us. So we can just get it out of that one. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So this is 16 generators. And now we just need to get all this stuff in. So this pipe needs to go around like this. But it also needs to go underground so that this heat pipe can come down to there. And then all of this is heated up properly. Okay, then we get all of these guys connected across. And that just goes around the outside like that. Okay. So are there any loopholes in this system? No, it doesn't look like it. It looks like this works. And then obviously we just get all of these heat pipes all the way around. And, okay, we don't need that. So it's basically something like this. And then, if we copy that, flip it vertically, and paste it in, like that, this is slightly better. Okay, we need to save literally one tile of vertical space, and then this works. So, is there any way of making this not be two separate pipes in here? So, if we need to get that row to not exist, basically, by any means necessary. Now, the heat pipes aren't a problem. The problem is that now, I mean, the issue is now this isn't connected up to here. But we could... Let's see here. How is this gonna work? Let's cut all of this out and then paste it down where it needs to be. So we need to get this spacing. And we need... Okay, I actually think... Oh, it's so close. It's so incredibly close. We need to just get this pipe out. Everything else is fine. It's just this one pipe which is a little bit tricky. And we do have some space in here for this to work. This has to be possible, right? There's definitely some... Okay, yeah, I think I see it. It's not that hard. We just have to use this space in here, I think. So, if you just go around like that, that just works, I think. Just straight forwards. No, that doesn't work. Oh wait, no, yeah, it does. So we then need to just do that so that we can access this area up here with the heat pipes. And then we just do something like that and like that, because we have to get that pipe. And then we need to... That's not the world's most efficient heat pipe placement, but we need it like that because we need to get this pipe and that pipe. Okay. So this, I believe... Am I missing anything? So this connects down here and then goes out, and then we can do whatever with it off in the distance. And likewise, up here, all the rest of this stuff is, I believe, all connected, right? Wait, how does this... Okay. This chunk here doesn't actually connect up to that up there for some reason. I don't know how I've just noticed that now. But it should be an easy fix. We have plenty of space to get that just across and connected up somewhere up here. So that connects like that, but not quite because we need to get this heat pipe out, which means you need to go like that. I need to hold shift when doing anything. And then you connect down. So now this heat pipe can go into there and then around there. And that should be all good, I think. So this is now all connected up. We can go from there all the way around and up to here. And so now, I guess, since this is going to be one singular thing, we might as well get to work on just getting all of this fluoroketone combined together, which we have tons of space for. It shouldn't be an issue. We just need... Okay, you can't quite reach all the way across in one step, but we just do something like that. And then... Okay, the heat pipes need to connect around so that they can keep the heating going. Which would be something like that. And so now the fluoroketone is all connected across. And the heat pipes are all connected in as well. The plasma can make its way through. Alright, I think this is good. So let's just... No, not copy. Let's just blueprint this as our fusion reactor. Make that a blueprint. And we've got that now. Alright, so now... Actually, I guess we might as well finish this off with the fluoroketone cooling. So this always generates the same amount of plasma per second, which means the amount of cooling per second that we need is always the same, even with extreme heat, right? Yeah, so this, even with neighbor bonuses and such, should be just the 4 per second, which means that it should be relatively easy to get all this stuff cooled. We just need to find a convenient place to do it, which, I mean, we have room right here, and let's see, if we're scaling this reactor up, it would just be mirroring it, right? So having the fluoroketone cooling just in this area shouldn't cause problems. So we get a cryogenic plant, which can go somewhere, hopefully just like right next to it, so we don't even need pipes. And then this, we would need to speed it up to like plus 100% to cover both of these. But that's fine. It's very achievable. So then we get those heat pipes across. And let's see here. For the supply of fuel into these, we can actually just use this space in here with a requester chest, and we go into there, and we have plenty of heat pipes in here, so this is fine. And we go into there. Okay, so then this requester chest we are going to set to want... Where is that stuff? Fusion power cells. So you get fusion power cell... Oh, this isn't heated. Okay. We can actually fix that pretty easily by just shifting this over one. It'll also just be more efficient that way. Yeah, actually, how space efficient can we even get this? If we do something like this, then let's see. This is going to need an additional fast inserter, I guess, but it's fine. So that is set up. You request fusion power cells And I think that should be everything, right? This should be just entirely self-contained reactor setup as long as we get the hot fluoroketone in to start with and start the recycling. So let's see. Speed module 3s are speed plus 50%. So 2 of those give us all the speed that we would need. That would be plus 100%, which gives us 8. Now, past that point, we don't need any more speed for this, because it's only feeding these 2 reactors. So I guess we can just spam you with efficiency modules, because might as well be efficient. You can't get productivity moduled, so there's no point doing that. Okay, so this, I believe, is everything that we need. So let's... Did we already blueprint the intermediate version of this? Yeah, we did. So we don't need this. That's incomplete. We want to blueprint this. So this is our fusion power plant. Make that a blueprint. And with only this setup, obviously this won't be max efficiency. We'll have more generators than we need because the neighbor bonuses aren't complete with only 2 of these. But if we mirror it like we're planning to do, then that won't be an issue. Okay, so we have this blueprint, right? So let's pop this into there. Actually, can we just swap the icon around for the fusion reactor so that it's distinguishable just at a glance? And now, if we just pop this down... Okay, it has to be somewhere within drone port range, but we also do want to duplicate... We also do want to put the second half in at some point, maybe. So let's just say... Okay, actually, if we just flip it vertically, then that'll help us know like how far down we can go. So this can barely squeeze in there. Let's give a little bit of space on the bottom left corner just so that we don't have any problems, and place that in. Okay, let's deconstruction planar that one and the ground it was standing on, just for when we inevitably put a drone port out this way. Alright, so that is all going to get built up. And then there's just a couple little things that we need to do to get it started. So step 1 is connect heat pipes to it. And that should get the whole thing heated up eventually. We are once again 100 some concrete short, so let's save that by dismantling all of that stuff. Now we certainly will have enough concrete. And we also need some bulk inserter type stuff, so let's go stand there to use the Spidertron inventory for anything that we can. And now it's just a question of, is this enough? We've got 4 roboports charging drones here, and it is struggling to keep up. And is that like the only spot where we have thousands of drones charging? There's this one over here, which also has a lot, and then these 2 down here. But past that point, it's like pretty manageable. Okay, we're almost at the point where we have a drone queued up for every task. We're only 40-some drones short. And this charging, like, I know that drones are slower and less efficient and everything on Aquilo. But it's kind of crazy that it's this bad. Like, this is not a large number of drones here. This is 275 max. It's not a lot of drones, and yet it is kind of extremely excessive. Okay, and then the other thing which we need to do to get this all kicked off is we need to get the fluoroketone supply in. So this is going to be empty those barrels and requester chest in the barrels. Let's see here. So we get those requested in. Then we can active provider chest. No, we don't have active provider chests here probably. So I guess just passive provider chest the barrels back out. And oh, I forgot to put power poles in this whole thing. That might be an issue in this area here, because these guys are kind of incredibly cramped. Maybe a substation. Yes, okay. A substation fits in there and covers most of the area. And from there, we have all these random little gaps here that we should be able to get everything all charged up nice and easy. And it's gonna be hard to tell what, if anything, we've missed until the actual generators are in, which is gonna take forever. Okay, so that power line goes up to there and gets all of those covered. And we do need to get the substation connected up. Oh, we can't put power lines there because we're going to, theoretically, we need to leave that open for more power lines in the future, or for more reactors and such. Which means we need this to sort of wrap around this way. See, now we get into the problem of I was too space efficient, and it's going to make this process quite difficult. But I think that covers them all. This substation does a lot of heavy lifting. And then we might need to replace some of these power lines with substations as well. And we're going to have to run up here to get our drones on to building some of these things. Okay, we actually don't have enough ice blocks somehow. Everything else seems to be fine, so let's... Actually, those ice blocks, again, we might conceivably use them in the future, so let's grab some of these guys. And I don't know where these missing ice blocks are meant to even be. Okay, it looks like we got all of them designated. So now we just have to wait. Oh, and we finished legendary quality research. That's helpful, in theory. Alright, so I guess might as well do railgun research. That'll be a thing at some point. Okay, now let's go up here and take this... No, that was the wrong... I clicked on blueprint planner instead of deconstruction planner. So we can take that out because that was previous testing. And the Spidertron is also doing everything it can to charge drones. Yeah, it seems like drone charging is just like the major limiting factor here. And a single portable fission reactor, clearly not enough. But we might be able to craft a portable fusion reactor. I think I remember those being a thing. Do I have to research them still? Or are they just not craftable? Let's see here. Portable fusion reactors. Where are you? Oh, okay. That is a separate research, which is available to me. So let's actually enqueue that and put it up first. And it is significantly stronger than the fission reactor. Requires some work to craft. That's fine. Okay, so now I believe we're almost there. These poor drones. How does it take them this long just to charge? How is that possible? Can you do a Gleba tour? Yeah, I can show that. So we've got... This is just the boring part, which just makes rocket parts. And the thing with Gleba, at least the way I've designed it, is it's a whole giant mess. You've got all these loops going around, and basically every loop just has to be connected up to some outlet for spoilage, and for some of them we have to hold that in boxes, either to use later or so that they spoil and then can get burned. We've got all of our fruit processing in here, except for some extra stuff that we just sort of shoved around in the corners somewhere. And yeah, it's kind of difficult to grasp what's going on in Gleba at a glance. The trick is to keep everything moving in circles. As long as everything is moving in circles and never stops moving under any circumstances, then you're basically good. Also, I haven't really spent much time on Gleba at all for a long time, so it's very outdated, which you can tell by the tier 2 modules and all of these guys. So yeah, that's Gleba. Alright, so back down to here. And now we are just waiting for all this to get built, and they've started building the fusion generators from some random corner, because of course they have. Okay, so we need that to get connected up. And we need to get the heat pipes in for the unbarreling. Okay, so next we need to pop a RoboPort up in this corner, which apparently we are out of RoboPorts. So you can do that, and you can then just add RoboPorts onto the list of things you're requesting, and actually get us some active provider chests for those barrels as well, although we have 4 of those on the planet. On all of Novice, we have 4 spare active provider chests. Incredible. We automated the other types of chests, right? Not really. Not really. Okay. So yeah, let's just set up a quick, easy version of that. So we just copy this, paste it up there, change this to active provider chest, and put a power line in it, and it's all just so fast when you're not on Aquilo. Okay, so there we go. And now we have extra active provider chests, which we can start loading up. And let's just set this to a custom minimum payload of 5, just so that we can get some of them. We do not need many. And then this can start heading over towards Aquilo. Actually, is there anything else we're low on? We are low on fast inserters mostly, and maybe assembly machines, although we might have some assembly machines elsewhere. But let's get fast inserters and assembly machine 3s. Get those launched up and ready to go. So there we go. That's all launching. Back to Aquilo. We have this. So this has. We've got 400 spare superconductors, no spares of tungsten plates or those things. So this, the EM plants are not actually making more processors because there's not enough lithium plates. So let's set that to be higher. We're storing a lot of them, right? If we check down here, we're storing 823 lithium plates apparently. And let's get another speed beacon in here just so that we can rebuild our lithium plate supply faster when we need to. So now we have more excess of that. So we can now set that up to be just a full row, and that should be good. Aquilo support has all of its stuff, so now that can get brought into here. And now it's just a matter of waiting for all of this stuff to get built. And we can... The power of these is way more than we need. So if we take 2 of these out, this doesn't break anything, right? The cold fluoroketone goes into all of them individually. It doesn't need to flow across anything. Yeah, so we can just take those 2 out and then run up here to get them placed up here. And that is that. So there we go. That's all going. Yeah, whatever. Alright. So now we just need to get the generators up there, and I really wish it would build these up in this area first. So let's try to convince it to do that. Okay, so can we actually, if we just remove those robo ports, then, no, that doesn't work. Okay. So we might as well put the robo ports back then, although that is gonna drain a little bit of power. It should be fine anyways. Okay, so we really need it to just build these ones up here. And it absolutely just refuses to do that. Now we need to get this section placed back in before I forget how it fits. So you go in like there. Okay. We need like these ones up here to get built as the priority. So I wonder if I just hop out of the Spidertron and I take my roboports out. So now, if I do this manually, yes, they just get picked up. Okay. And then we can place them there. And then we pick that one up. And we place it there. And now we don't have to worry about it anymore, because at least those first 2 will be producing power. And all the rest of this stuff is all set up properly. So, once we get fuel into here and fluoroketone barrels up into here, this should be functional, which means we're just waiting on that drone port, basically. So where do we have just like a single spare drone port anywhere? This gives us 98 fluoroketone hot barrels. All of this stuff is going. The thing is, like, everywhere where we have a bunch of drone ports next to each other, it's because we need them. But I guess we can just pick that one up and place it up here. Which... oh, I need to... I forgot I took the drone ports out of this specifically to prevent stuff from getting placed randomly. Alright, so now that that is in, we should be all good, and I will just go back and queue that up so that when we get our extra drone ports, we can do that. Speaking of which, this is here. You need to dump your tungsten plates down, and some superconductors, although not all of them, because you still need some for crafting. But we also need some for crafting these guys. So that's quantum processors, superconductors, tungsten plates. We should now have plenty of tungsten plates for a while, and plenty of superconductors for a while. So it's just the quantum processors that we're short of. And it keeps feeding them into this one, when I would really rather feed them into the generator production. But that should get sorted out eventually. And, alright, up here, this is doing its thing, producing the cold fluoroketone. And these are doing their thing, producing plasma, output full. And then these are just producing all the power that they need to. And it looks like... okay, wait. Actually, it looks like this isn't working. So all of this section around here is connected up. Oh, right. I had to do a special fix to connect from here to there, and I remembered to do it on one side, but not on the other. So that is pretty easy, though. We just need you to go like that. Then the heat pipes go through like that. And then... oh, wait, no. Is that different? That goes up like that. Then the heat pipes go around. And that's all solid. Now we just need to connect the power lines up. And that should have us cleared for the fluoroketone to recycle. And then this probably already has enough. This is probably already enough to just keep this running. So let's see here. Let's connect you over, and you are going to be enable disable. You are going to be read ingredients. So you are going to be fluoroketone hot, and this seems to be 30 at all times, 20 in there and 10 in the recipe. So if that is less than 15, we'll say, then you can output some Otherwise, you can be disabled. And that should never run, basically, unless we can just use this same assembly machine when we eventually put the other 2 reactors up there. Alright, so that is that. All of this is in. And we just need the generator production to hurry on up a little bit. And it is sort of going. Okay, this is set to only be 50. Let's set that to keep a stockpile of 250, just so that we have more drones going there to keep it going at once. And then we have this. This is going. It's doing its thing. Producing those. And it just needs to be faster, basically. It's only got the 1 beacon. Can I can fit a second beacon in with speed modules, so now you're slightly faster. Every little bit counts. And those underground belts, make sure nothing gets broken. And all of this is working just fine. There is kind of a backlog of fresh things coming in, which might be a problem. Probably is fine though, as long as we have enough variety in here. And it looks like these recyclers are all going, so we should have at least some minimum amount of variety. So yeah, that should be okay. And this says it's producing. We only have like 70 of those now though. So we are still really quite low. And yeah, obviously none to spare. That goes without saying. So all of this is getting built up. And we are very much not prioritizing like the important ones, although I guess at this point our power production is high enough that like it doesn't really matter. This is mostly just future proofing, if anything. So now we can go over here and we should be able to just take these ones out and still have plenty of power. And if we then run back over here to get those placed in, which is placed in the least convenient end of the generator possible, but that's just how that's going to work. So now we should slowly make progress towards finishing that system. So now the question is quantum processor production. How do we get that to be not hilariously slow? So we could just add more of these guys on, or we could upgrade this to produce even faster. So we would need to have like more than one of these. It doesn't look like the resource input is at all the issue. It looks like it has plenty of everything. So what we need to do is get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 filtered belts out of the hub, so we can get like a full row of these. That is a lot of filtered belts, but we should have space for them in here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess. And then we filter these to processing units. And we filter this one to tungsten carbide. And we filter this one to superconductors. And this one to carbon fiber. Where's the carbon fiber? There it is. I'm just blind. And then this one filters to lithium plates. And apparently we only have bulk inserters here, so we'll have to change those soon, but we can do that in a minute. Then all of these need to just sort of sneak over to somewhere where we have enough space to do this. Like that. And then these belts need to go across. Okay, so this belt is nothing. These solar panels are nothing. So we can clear all that stuff out to make space for this over here. And okay, what we need is these output to the right, which we need to compress these down to a smaller number of belts. So I believe this will work. So now we have 3 belts of input, which is doable. And then we just need you to be doing those. And, okay, you need cold in, hot out. And should just be set up to this cryogenic plant. These existing pipes we have should work fine for that. And we should be able to make a whole row of these just by doing something like that. And we want them to be efficient. And then we need all this stuff to go in. So let's think. We need 2 rows of belts on either side, right? Okay, so those resources came in, and this does work properly. So we need 2 rows of input belts on that side, 1 row of input belts, and 1 row of output belts on that side. Let's run the output belt up that way, I guess. Let's see. This exact placement of these machines isn't ideal. We're going to want to move these up here, I think, for the extra space. Although actually where we get these input to is not trivial. Okay, actually I think we need to get their inputs down into this area so we can have access to a side of the space platform hub. Okay, so the output belts go down this way as well. Then we cut this, paste it down there somewhere, get that foundation built, and we might need more foundation here. Yeah, we do. So we can just chop off some of this stuff when we're ready for that. Okay. Then we need these pipes to go across and connect. Okay. Should be just about there. You go in like that. You come around like that. You loop down like so. And we're going to need more belts apparently. Okay, but then these all get their inputs like that. Oh, and some of these need to be long-handled, obviously. So we get those, and we get those. And then we get those inputs in. Alright, so this is mostly connected up. So now we just need to get the fluid pipes through, which is going to be real hard, but barely manageable if we just do that. And then that needs to take a corner and then wrap around this way and connect down to that. Alright, so now these should have everything they need except the lithium plates, which need more belts to show up. And then the output belt. Okay, so first we need the hot fluoroketone pipe. And that can just be a regular pipe, which runs down this way to give us a little bit of clearance in that area. And then this pipe just runs along and then down into there. Okay, so that should be all established. And now we take our output belt and bring it. Now this is the hard part. We need to get in to there, basically. And can this belt go one further? Yes, it can. Okay, so then we can output to here and get down to there. Obviously that needs this ice belt to move a little bit, which should be not that difficult to manage. So that belt goes down like that. Now that gets connected. This goes across and into there, and we're all good. Okay, so now we take some of that stuff out to get all this foundation built. And you need more belts. So hopefully you can just stay here at Novice for a little bit. And apparently you actually stopped back at Novice to refuel. That's interesting. So hopefully you stay here long enough for the transport belts to show up. And once those belts are here, the lithium plates go in, these go out. Oh, we need more speed beacons for these, actually. So, how do we fit those in? Do we have beacons? We have beacons and speed modules here already. So we don't need to rush. We can spend some time figuring out how to do this. And we definitely need them, because these are minus 75% speed right now, which is abysmal. Okay, so if we send, let's see, if we send one of these belts underground, so we need to move you down to there, and then this can fit in there and get beaconed. So now these two are going faster again. And then we should be able to do the same thing. Move that up there. Put that beacon in there. Give you speed modules. And now we are cooking. So these outer two are plus 75%. The inner one is plus 137%. So we've gotten like solid 3 or 4 times speed up just by doing that. Okay, Aquila support is here. You can send down those. And some concrete. And that should be all you send down for now, I think. And if we need to expand this, how much space do we have? We have a good amount of space down this way to expand even further. Although at some point we're going to run into a spot where we just don't have enough inputs for all of this. But hopefully now we are 0.31 plus point. So now we're at slightly more than 1 per second, I believe. And the fluoroketone is actually a shortage now, I think. How did that happen? You don't have any more of this stuff. But do we have any barrels here? Yeah, okay, so we don't have any barrels of fluoroketone, we just have a bunch of regular old barrels. So we're basically about to run out. We have enough cold fluoroketone for the short term, but pretty soon that's going to change. So back over on Aquilo, we have 81 barrels of the hot fluoroketone. That's got to be enough. It would be absolutely crazy if that weren't enough. Okay, in the meantime, this is getting built out, so we should have basically no power demand issues ever again. Up to 255 megawatts, of which we use 20. Now, Novice uses 400 some megawatts. So already, this is almost enough to run like half of Novice off of like just a couple fusion generators. We've got like 3 of them. And then the steam turbines help out a little bit too, but soon we're going to be able to shut off the steam turbines. Okay, so this, I mean, these are still running. Looks like the stockpile we had was pretty good. It lasts a good while, and this only reduces it by like 50%. So we lose like half of the fluoroketone each cycle, so it's actually 0.78 per second that we're using. And this pipeline contains somehow 2,000. I don't know where all that 2,000 is, but it should last us a good long while. And yeah, we've run out of lithium plates first. Okay, so you need to get back to there. And we set that up. Set all of these to higher numbers now that the actual supply, the production rate is faster, which means we need more of each of these. So all of these are going to be set to at least 1,000, except for the barrels, which, I mean, we just need like a couple barrels to keep this running forever. Which hopefully will be enough. We only have the one silo. And it's not super fast. So I don't know how good we are exactly at launching the lithium plates up there. Hopefully good enough. So Aquilo support is here over Aquilo, and it's got a good chunk of resources, so I think we can just leave you there for now. We're still 21 reactors short. How many... or not reactors, generators. How many generators is that? That is... what? So 2,000 tungsten plates, 2,000 superconductors, 1,000 quantum processors. We have a close to sufficient number of the plates and superconductors. Processors are struggling, though. Although we will be dropping off more than 300 of them. So that's something. And yeah, these have all stopped now because of the lithium shortage, which we are on our way to fix. We are on our way to fix that, and then that will be something. Portable fusion reactor research is not going great, although we are launching a rocket to help with that. And that just has a whole lot to load up. How many are in here extra? Not that many. So we did probably wind up sending... Yes, we're not sending up rockets super efficiently because we're sending them in batches of 250 instead of batches of 1,000. So that's a little bit of a problem. We're probably mostly fine. How much holmium do we have here? We have so much. Okay. We need to get this set up to work with the same way we do Novice, where it accounts for everything in the drone network as opposed to just the stuff that's like physically present in the cargo landing pad. So actually let's just go back to Novice and copy paste this. So we copy that, and we are going to paste it here. Alright, so then apparently the decider combinator needs heat. And it needs power, because of course it does. Okay, and now what were these connected to? The arithmetic combinator was connected to the roboport on green, and the decider combinator was connected to the landing pad. So we start with a green wire from which decider combinator was it? Because there are two of them. The arithmetic combinator is green to the roboport. So, arithmetic combinator, green to the roboport. Then, decider combinator, red to that. And then we just need this. We need to clear that out. We need to get all of these set across. So the important ones are holmium plates for the fusion fuel. Where is that? So yeah, let's just get like 200 of them. Then low density structures, processing units, rocket fuel for the rocket launches. So we get some of all of these set up. Rocket fuel. So that is all in. Then, oh right, we need barrels just to keep that loop running. And we get that. Okay, yeah. That's fine. And then we need the tungsten plates, superconductors, and quantum processors. And we get tungsten plates, superconductors, and quantum processors. Where's there's too many items. Quantum processors are down here. Okay, so that's all set up. Now you are set to be set requests, and that is requesting barrels and quantum processors. So that should get us all cleared, and it looks like quantum support just arrived. So we can send those guys down, and yeah, we're still going to be requesting some of those, but less at least. And you got all of that stuff sent down. Lithium plates are getting launched. I don't like this 120 second of inactivity thing. I think that might not be long enough. I think we might need to give it a bit more time for the rocket launches to happen. So there is enough of this on the planet that if it gets launched up, we'll be good to go. Now, how is this going? You're fully loaded. So you should be getting this any second now. And we're just going to have to see if 120 seconds is enough. We might have to set this to a little bit more. Although it looks good as is. So maybe it's fine. Okay. So that is about to arrive. And yeah, that's just very, very close. Let's give this a little bit more leeway. Just an additional 30 seconds to get stuff launched up. And immediately all of those are just getting popped out onto the belts, of course. And then we have the fluoroketone coming up any second now. And there's 100 of that on the way, and then we need more lithium plates to get launched. And this... okay, this is actually broken now. And not for any particular reason, just because this is slow. So let's take all those efficiency modules out now that power isn't a relevant thing. And you can go super fast. So that's now 2.3 lithium per second, which is more than enough. So we can put productivity modules in. Oh, and I forgot we're at the point where productivity modules actually make it produce faster. So let's... as long as this is above this 1.9 level, because this is just going into these two, right? So as long as this is like 1.5-ish, then it's fast enough. So we should be able to leave it like this, and maybe even... okay, this is 1.16. Let's just get another... let's get another beacon down so that we can have this be at full efficiency and still produce fast enough to keep everything going. Alright, so how did this wind up working? We got our fluoroketone barrels. We didn't quite wind up with a second visit of lithium plates, but that should be okay. This should be enough to last for a good long while, even with all this. Okay, what is this? Is this set up wrong? Why? Okay, oh, I'm dumb. That's why. That just needs an inserter. Okay. We had all of these guys lined up and ready to go, and just sort of forgot to do the easiest step. So those can then get loaded in, and let's get that set up as well, so we don't completely saturate our entire area with those, although I still think it's not going to be a meaningful problem. And now I think now that we have all that, let's just have you deposit those back here, just so that this can keep running, because we need more of them. We're down to only 18 short. So we are starting to get there. Unfortunately, none of the ones we've placed in have actually been useful. So that's a little bit annoying. Okay, and then this is the cryogenic plant that was active a little while ago that was draining 15 megawatts of power. But now it hardly ever runs, so it doesn't use much electricity. Let's see, temperature is all good, plenty hot. And we've got all this stuff over here as well to help with that. Although we might want to turn some of this power off at some point if we're going to be using fusion power for everything. I don't want to turn it off just yet because that's a little bit spooky to do. But the good news is that this doesn't really depend on, like, this doesn't really depend on heat or anything to quite the same degree. Like, these guys don't need to have heat pipes next to them directly. So we would need the heat to get stuff, to get the fluoroketone out, but no more than that. Okay, so this is output full, and it's not doing any more. This isn't providing a massive excess of fluoroketone there, so that's good. That's what we want. All seems to be working. Aquilo quantum support is here. It's deploying its stuff, picking up more lithium plates, hopefully. We have another 500 on the way. And this is still no ingredients. Okay, now you don't have holmium plates because we sent them all into these guys. Okay, so we need to first blacklist holmium plates from all of those and then toss them into there. Alright, and that should then get us covered. So that should solve that problem and just keep this running continually. And it sounds like we just launched a rocket up here. We have our lithium plates on the way. There they go. Those just landed. And we're starting to work quite well. And we have portable fusion reactor now. So that's fun. Let's see then. We need 20 billion different things to craft that. So, how do we even get that? We need 250 quantum processors for that, so I think because those are like the main shortage, I think we just leave those for now. Okay. All the drones are going over this way, despite the fact that they're carrying tungsten plates and then going back over that way. There's no way that that's the most efficient way of doing that. So this is all saturated now. So these are just receiving everything. We're down to 15 extras. Alright, our fusion generator production is starting to pick up steam a little bit. Still could be a lot more. And I think we also just need more roboports. So if we... because these guys are like getting all the way out to here before turning around and going somewhere really far away. So if we just put that in, so there's just a drone port right there, then hopefully that'll work and help them not have to do that. So yeah, drones on Aquilo are very much like not the ideal way of doing things. We're brute forcing them like this for now, but at some point we're going to do a redesign and hopefully just not use drones for much of anything once we do that. Okay, so now they're at least charging up here instead of going all the way over to back this way, which some of them are still doing, to be fair. which is definitely not the right way of doing that. Alright, we're down to 12. I think that means we're like more than halfway done, and of course the ones we're missing are mostly the ones that actually need to get placed in. So once we get this one and that one, like all of these guys can be active. And then our max production will shoot up like crazy. And we are getting more. So the crafting is working. And they're sort of placing them in at random, which is fine. That is another one which wound up somewhere where it can be used. So now we're up to 405 megawatts. Just one more useful one, and then we'll be at the point where we can run this entire thing. And that looks like that's going in there. Alright. So yeah, that is pretty neat. So power production is now at 455, and Novice only uses like 400 and some, which means that Aquilo now has basically just guaranteed enough power production. So we're going to let this finish, and then we're going to have to start building up the ability to get reactors elsewhere, which will be a lot easier without having to run heat pipes everywhere. We should be able to come up with much more compact designs for other planets, and maybe even space platforms, although I don't know about that. That seems very expensive. Alright, so this is all going. We are back down to item ingredient shortage on both quantum processors and tungsten plates. So this isn't carrying either of those. It's this one which is carrying those things. So yeah, it just needs to do more of that stuff. Let's just set these requests a little bit higher, because we keep running out of them. Although I don't think that'll do much for the quantum processors, but it might. We are producing a lot of them now. I mean, we're already up to 330, and we haven't even made it to Gleba yet. We are moments away from running out of carbon fiber, and the lithium plate supply also not great. What's going on with that? It's the same amount of each of them. Oh no, it is twice as much lithium plates as everything else. That makes sense. So that's why we keep running out of those. And we just need this to produce a big enough stockpile. But also, now we're running into the problem where this is cutting our science production, because they're all just getting picked up like that. Now we can't get you to go any faster, realistically. So what I think we need to do is we need this to be a splitter where... Okay, how are we going to get you up? So you just go along like that into the box. Then the other half we need to bring up to this area, which is going to require some creativity. So we should be able to have you go through like that, maybe, and then around like that. Okay, now we need to connect the heat pipes back up and the regular pipes back up. And then we need these heat pipes to connect back up, which, first of all, they need to get that covered, and then they need to get over to here, which, can they actually do? Yeah, it should be possible just by rearranging this a little bit. So you need an underground belt. And then you go in like that. So then that connects across, that connects across. And I think we're all good. Somehow this got slightly messed up, but it's fine. It still has its ice cubes, but let's just dismantle that and rebuild it so that it isn't slightly messed up. Okay, so now half of our lithium plates go to the box and half of them go to science. This is still very much not ideal. I mean, just having one singular electric furnace making lithium plates and it's only speed moduled without productivity is certainly not like the optimal way of going about it, but it should be fine enough. So we get our carbon fiber loaded back up, and we're getting even more apparently. Alright, yeah, now we have plenty of carbon fiber. We are off to Vulcanus for the tungsten carbide, which it seems we have actually just about run out of. But we have more than 500 quantum processors, which should be enough. I mean, by the time this gets back to Aquilo, that should be enough to finish off this whole power plant and then get started on pieces for the next one, which is pretty cool. Alright, so that is going. What else is there to do? More science production, maybe? So this needs cold fluoroketone, lithium plates, ice cubes. So this area up here, we should be able to just expand our way up, right? Because these reactors don't do anything anymore, and actually nothing up here really does much of anything. So we are going to need more cryogenic plants, though. So if we, step one, get this belt up. If we can get this belt up with both of those things, then it'll work out great. So we need to cut that heat pipe, send you across like that, and then you do that. And this can all, yeah, just everything up here, I think, everything past the hot fluoroketone barreling, not including that though. All of this stuff, we can just take it all apart. We don't need it. There we go. So now we just get these guys in. And, okay, we need more. We need more cryogenic plants. That's something which we need to do. We never quite got around to automating cryogenic plants. And they need 20 lithium plates and 40 refined concrete each. I think we have a good supply of refined concrete. We just need to get the lithium plates in. Okay, we can set this to a requester chest. And you are going to request those, and where's the refined concrete? Those. We've got 275 in storage, which is enough to make, how many of these? Is enough to make a couple, basically. It's not ideal. Alright, so now we need to get the lithium plates. So let's grab a couple stacks of you, and actually we could have just set that up to be a requester as well. So you get that. So now we can start producing these again and add in the superconductors into the list of things we're requesting here. Alright, so now we have more cryogenic plants. Theoretically, that can produce consistently. Except for the refined concrete, which... Do we just have you Okay, we can dump down another 400 of that. So this has been manual this whole time. Okay. No, we can get you. We can get you to do this because you're already going back and forth pretty regularly. So you just bring, like, I don't know, how much of this? Just like 2 rockets worth? Two rockets worth. Let's go with that. Should be plenty. And then if we go down to here, then you can request all of that stuff. And that should help us make cryogenic plants. And might cause problems for the superconductor supply here, but that shouldn't be a massive issue. Okay, so now we just need to, I guess, go into remote mode and scale that up a little bit. Let's just have 3 of them for now. And they are going to get this belt, that recipe, and then we just need to get the inputs configured. So we have cold fluoroketone go in there, and then get belted together. Okay, wait, no, that's not quite right. This needs to go a little bit further out because it'll make it easier for our heat pipe to go in this area. So let's do that next. We get the heat pipe in there and we connect it up to an existing heat pipe. Okay, so that has all that stuff go through. Next, we need the inserters to get placed. And now we need this to go underground every couple spaces, like that. And then the heat pipes roll in all of these spots and get all of that stuff connected up. Then we get those. They get heated like that. Should work. And we need more just regular old-fashioned bulk inserters, apparently. So let's go and get those placed. So now we have that. Then we need to do the same thing again, but for the output. So we leave a 2 wide gap on each of these guys. And we have a belt, which will be going somewhere like there. And then a heat pipe. Alright, then the fluoroketone combines back up over here. All that gets connected. And okay, we need to get our outputs in here. Something like that. Then this does the whole underground chunk every so often again, like that. So that the heat pipes can sneak in to all of these spots and get everything all warmed up. Okay. Now I've just realized a problem with this is that we need to actually get the output out. Okay, but this last one doesn't need to do that. You can actually... So that's being output, which means we can just get that in. And now the heat pipe goes back there. That one's not needed. that one is needed to heat up that one. And this needs to go back here to get these guys. Okay, so now that is all of that. Let's see if we can power all of this up with just 2 substations, like so. Okay, now we just need to actually get the fluoroketone running, and this is another one where we use up half of it at any given trip. So this produces... Is this still our primary supply of hot fluoroketone? That produces 8. None of these use a significant amount. Okay, let's make this less power efficient and more productivity efficient. Then get the speed modules in so that this can then produce all that it could ever possibly want, as long as we have enough. Okay, so that is producing the hot fluoroketone. Then this is cooling it down. And we need to... Okay, this actually works, I think. So we can do that. Then this belt here can go underground for a bit, and then roll over that way. So then this underground pipe here reaches over to here, underground again, and into there. Actually, okay, so those heat pipes don't need to exist. Those have them covered. And then those just need heat pipes however they need to be. And we are short on refined concrete and somehow on fast inserters. Okay, just that top one. So now we're short on refined concrete because it's all going over this way. We just yoink some of that. And now this should be all clear, right? Okay, no, not quite. I need one more heat pipe there. And now the modules. So these can be productivity module, but that's going to make them super slow. So instead, we are going to be taking out like 2 of those, getting you back up to speed, and let's just do the half and half split for you. So you are 0.33, 0.72. So you're actually slightly better than this one. So this is more efficient and faster. Yeah, so let's... So yeah, at this point, speed modules aren't the point anymore. Or the efficiency modules. It's all about productivity and speed. And I don't know what the correct ratio should be, but we're just going to go 4 and 4 for now. Obviously, it would be ideal if we could fit beacons in and have that be how it works, so that we can have them at max efficiency while still being super fast. But this is also fine. So you are fluid ingredient shortage. So these guys take 4.5. This one, so you take like 6 total. This should be capable of producing enough. Although wait, this is set up weirdly, isn't it? Or is something... There's some circuit network thing, but it's just reading. Okay, the circuit network is just reading. So this should be fine. So this is producing at all times. And yeah, it looks like we got there. So now we have, what, just like a good clean 4 times the science production that we did last time I checked. And Aquilo Quantum Support is on its way back. And it has got another lithium plate shortage again. But it has 300, 400, 500, 666 quantum processors. That's slightly ominous. And that should be... Let's see, these are 50 each, so that should be enough for 13 fusion generators, and we only need 8. So yeah, once this shipment arrives, our fusion generator will be complete. And then we can start worrying about the lithium supply again, because this is still not going anywhere near fast enough for me. At least at this point, it's probably fine. This makes 1 per second. How much do these guys take? 0.24 each. So that's like almost exactly using all the lithium from this, which we can't make use of because we need to use a lot of it for other purposes. Like, we don't have enough refined concrete to make more of these, although this is almost... These stack to 20? Alright, we don't need 40 of these. We'll make 1 more of those and call it a day on that production. Then we need to find a way of squeezing more electric furnaces in. Alright, I guess technically we could like replace this beacon with another electric furnace and it might help, because this is... No, I don't think it would actually. So, does this go out anywhere? This goes out to like here. Okay, I have a new idea. If we cut that and then bring this belt underground like that so that the pipes can go back in. Now this should be more straightforward, so we can just take this out and, yeah, build it here so we could gain access to those speed beacons since it's free. So that belt goes across there, the heat pipe catches up to it, and then those get their inputs, but they need to be slightly efficiently built so that this can go underground in between them. And we need to go to this mode to build those out. Okay, so that is 2 more of these, except that this one can't output because these beacons are here. So if we move this power pole, that power pole just goes there instead, then you can output to a passive provider chest, and you can output directly to a passive provider chest, and both of these can have like a decent but not crazy chunk each. Okay, so these are almost 1 per second currently with their beacons. Now with productivity modules, they're 1.05 per second. So that did slightly speed them up, and more importantly, made them more efficient. So now we can turn all of the raw lithium into plates. Now we just need to boost this up to make more raw lithium. So this makes 1.72, and we need 1. So this is like 1.8. This brings that up to like 3. So we need like a little more than 3. So let's if we do that, 2.57, 2.9, and 3.16. So this is like almost enough, basically. But it's less efficient, which isn't ideal. So I guess we can push this out somewhere with more room. So we just need this lithium brine here, this ammonia here, and then the holmium plates. So if we just bring these down to this area down here, we can get 2 of these in. So if we get 2 of those in, then we paste the settings. Okay, so you need to go across to there. But that's definitely not going to be enough space. Yeah, so we do need more space, which means that these need to be pushed back, like, over here somehow. So we need those settings to be pasted in again. Then we need, I guess, these ones. You just go out as far as you can and connect up. Then we have our holmium plate belt in there. And our ammonia pipe in here. Now, can we get heat pipes to all of these? Almost. We need you to go out one more, as usual. I don't know why I managed to forget that spacing every single time. Alright, so that goes in like that. Then we get the heat pipe in here to get all these belts and everything. This can go underground so that that connects up. Okay, now we need to get the heat into all of these outputs, which might... that's certainly going to be the hardest part, I think. So maybe we actually have the holmium inputs on the other side. Yeah, that would actually make that a lot simpler, I think. So that belt goes down. Then the output belt goes up. So we do that. We take that belt out, and then this we connect into everything. Like, however. And then those inserters don't need to exist. We just need the heat pipes go there and there to get all lined up. Okay, looks like these are going again. And we're still missing the refined concrete, but that should show up eventually. Hopefully. Okay, now... Oh, right, we need these to be on the same belt, actually. Which should still be entirely doable. So we just do that. We have that go across like that. So then the outputs go there. The outputs go there onto the far side of this belt. Then the inputs just come from the near side of this belt. Then that goes underground a little bit. And connects up to all of those. And then this goes underground again, so that that can connect up to all of those. And Reload Support 2, are you coming back with 200 refined concrete? Hopefully that'll be enough. Okay, you can send down some of that, at least. And some regular concrete, just in case we need that. And some assorted building materials, because I don't know what we need and what we don't need. But we've used a whole lot of heat pipes since we've last restocked, so I'm going to send down a couple more of those as well. How many heat pipes do we have? We've got like a couple hundred spare, basically. Yeah, not that many at all. But, in the meantime, this is fully armed and operational. We have missed one singular thing, so you just... I think you're far enough in that you just need one of those to reach you. Alright, and then the refined concrete is on its way, and this still needs more of that, unfortunately. But we have 19 of these, so let's chop the refined concrete out of that request for now, just so that nothing crazy happens. Now we have one spare generator. Only one. That's still something. Okay. So, this belt... Wait, we actually need this to work slightly differently. So you need to go down like this. I need you to move that storage cargo bay over there so we have room. Cargo bays sure are big. Alright, so that goes into there. Then our heat pipes go around. And we go into this mode to get that built. Okay, so we get our holmium plates down this way. And that actually just works as far as the direction of it. So then we get those heat pipes in. So the holmium plates go down. That needs to get placed so it's facing the right way. And then we need a filter here so that the holmium plates don't go past this point. And this needs to filter out lithium. And then that just goes forwards. And then we need the lithium to get up to this general area. So let's get prod mods in. Then this doesn't quite fit with the beacons though. Let's see, maybe we can get the beacons in on this side. We should be able to get beacons in on this side, I think. So we chop all that stuff out and then put a couple of beacons. So I don't know, just something like this maybe. So a layout like that, which then let's get this all powered. No, that's not going to work. We need at least some space in here for these heat pipes. Alright, so that heat pipe goes around to there. Then we need this heat pipe. Does this get both of them? Yeah, both of these get both. So that's fine. So those are caught by those heat pipes, which then can go out somewhere. And then that obviously just can connect across like that. Okay, now we need to get these out a little bit. So you go like that, and then across, and this is the ammonia pipe. So you go up like that. Then this heat pipe can go around and do some stuff and hopefully get out that way. Then that heat pipe can go up like there to get those warmed up. Okay, then this lithium brine pipe. I mean, you can just connect directly across. That wouldn't help the other one, though. So we have that go down to there. And now we're basically done. We just get all of these heat pipes in. And I actually think those last couple aren't even necessary. So this whole thing will get connected up to this side of the heating network. And then we'll be good to go. So now we can just pop our power lines in wherever they need to go. And then they connect up like that. Okay, so the lithium brine is in. The holmium plates are in. The power is in. We just need to get this ammonia across. So you go under to there. And then you just sort of loop around that way. And let's see, we run the heat pipes up there. And we should be all done once that happens. And let's actually just connect those across, just in case. Having nice circular heat systems helps distribute everything better. Okay, so this now produces our lithium. We need to get it up into this area now. So let's start. This doesn't need to be there anymore, so we can clear all that space out. I assume all of this stuff is here for a good reason, so we're going to leave that. Then this machine here doesn't need to exist because we have replaced its purpose with this new area down here. So now we just need to get a belt across this whole area. So this is a start at least. Yeah, this is getting us into the right area. So this goes up to here. Although the heating in here is... Okay, no, we can bring that pipe down a little bit to get heating into there. And then this goes underground to there. And I mean, we're basically in the home stretch. We just have to not get stuck in this last little bit. You go around to there and up to that belt. And then we just get the heating across. And we're good. Okay, so now the easy part. We just take this belt across to there. And this heat pipe also across. And then that should get everything done. And just fill in that little gap there. And we are apparently... We need to run up here to get that substation placed in, because it's on our personal inventory. So there we go. That's placed in. This now works 100%. If we had enough power to use it, then it would work all the way. Now, we just need... Okay. Somehow I forgot to get this last little bit connected across, so that this is actually connected to the heating. There we go. And that is our lithium... What is that even called? Lithium Just raw lithium or just lithium? Alright, so now we have the lithium going up, powering all these guys. And we should now have plenty of it. And it should be at maximum efficiency. As are these guys at maximum efficiency. Let's see if we actually... If we just make you like that, you're down to 0.82. Which is actually not enough. So yeah, you do need to be speed moduled in order to work, because we can't squeeze another beacon in next to you. Okay, but now that that's a thing, you can go output priority left, send 1.09 per second up to science, which is all that we need. And then these ones can handle the drone network, all the various other things that we need. Okay, so that's that. This is still doing its thing. We don't have any semiconductors right now, so we're going to need to fix that at some point. But hopefully it won't cause any problems. Alright, so our chromium plate supply is going well. Lithium is starting to backlog. So yeah, all good there. Then this is producing our fusion power cells, and it is output full. So that is basically everything, right? We have power, we have our improved science, we have the lithium to keep up with it. Although I guess we might not have enough ammonia connected up to this. So how does this ammonia supply work? This supplies this chemical plant, which is like a pretty significant source of solid fuel for heating. So that is 45 ammonia. Then it also does some other stuff. That doesn't need to exist. That doesn't connect to anything. Okay, so down here we have like 10 ammonia demand. Not that much. This gives us 45 ammonia demand. And this produces 75 ammonia. So is there anywhere else that uses that? Yes, this. So we're actually like pretty close to exact on our ammonia supply versus demand, which I guess is good. Now the ice cubes here are 7.5, which is well more than enough. I thought it was more than 7.5. I thought it was like 10 or 12, but 7.5 is still plenty, obviously. So the ice cubes are enough for this. The lithium plates are enough for this. I believe we had confirmed that the fluoroketone was definitely enough for this. So this is like 26 per second, theoretically. We should be able to make this more efficient, I think. So this, we use 10 of it there, and we theoretically barrel some of it, but not much. So yeah, this can be made more efficient. Although we do use some of it up in space, right? So how much fluoroketone do you use? You use like 2, basically. Basically just 2. Alright, so yeah, we can definitely then slow this down a little bit. So now that's 18.7. Now it's 17.6. Now it's 9.6. Alright, so yeah, we do need We do need it to be something like that. If we can find a way, actually, this drone port... Okay, yeah, we can chop that drone port out. Replace you with a speed module. Now, we should be able to just full-on productivity you and still get plenty. So now you're maximally efficient. And did I break the drone network by doing that? I should check. I did not. Cool. We finished our railgun research. That's neat. So what other researches do we have available? We have Prometheum Science, which... who knows why we would want that. We have railgun boosts and rocket part productivity. Is that all? Or is that just... So obviously, if that's all that comes off of this, is it just those and like infinite researches? Are we basically... Yeah, I mean, we're very, very close to just Prometheum Science, infinite researches. Yeah, it's literally just Prometheum Science and infinite researches now. So I don't particularly have interest in going to the Shattered Planet and beating the game yet. So we are just going to leave that for now. Instead, let's throw in rocket part productivity, because that is going to be useful on like every planet, basically. Just save some resources across the board. Okay, so this is all looking good. These are mostly just filled with junk at this point, but some of that junk is useful junk. And yeah, we actually have spare quantum processors, and a lot of them. So it's the tungsten plates which are the main shortage now for these productions. So you are also the one bringing those, right? Can we set that to be even more, or is it just because we only have 500? So yeah, it's actually just a Vulcanist problem then. Okay, so our tungsten ore is still mostly coming from this, and is still mostly not being used. I think we need to increase our boxes for these. So this only stores 1,000. Let's make you store more. And probably do the same thing with these. No, those are already capped out. Okay. So Vulcanus is just sitting quietly and not doing anything of interest at this point. Let's, I guess, just so that it does something, increase the number of speed module 2s that we want to be producing. Just so that if we wind up using a whole bunch of them all at once, that's not an issue. And, alright, so the lithium brine here is a bit low, actually. How much lithium brine are we using here? 10? And that's the only thing we use it for. Yep, so then we come down here, and this is not 10. Alright, let's get speed beacons in just wherever we can find the room for them. Just mostly to offset the issues with the productivity modules making them slower. And is this area out? This area's got to be out of the drone network, right? No, I see drones coming down here. It is within construction drone network, not within logistics drone network, but that's fine. So those get set in, and then all of these guys need to be powered. And then this one down here needs to have access to the heat pipe, which apparently we still need to be in this mode for. So we just do that. And now all these guys are super fast. So now we shouldn't have lithium brine shortages anymore unless we actively run out. No, we still got like 1 million of the stuff. So this one is producing 4.8 per second. That one's producing 6 per second. We should definitely be positive on our lithium brine supply. It's just probably going to be a matter of getting all of this saturated and filling up all these giant pipes with it. Alright. Everything is looking good. So I think we might call this a good stopping point. So we've got our science production much better than we have in the past. And let's go up here. And oh, I didn't mean to delete that. I meant to just edit it. So you are going to request 1,000 of that with no custom minimum payload. And we should be able to manage that, right? Because this is 850, this is 360. That makes 1,000. Alright, so goals for the future are get more rocket launch capacity here so that we don't have to worry about that so much. And then just start doing more mega basey redesigns of all the planets so that we can have all the stuff we need. So legendary quality is something that's going to be coming up soon, which based on the epic quality stuff we did is going to be really, really hard. But it'll also be super convenient once we have it. So we're going to work on that. And then just other various generic expansions. So that's going to be about it. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you guys next time. I'll be doing Satisfactory tomorrow, where we're continuing to slowly chip away at the neural quantum processor factory. Otherwise, we'll be back here on Friday. So if you're interested in that, make sure to stop by. And yeah, that's about it. I will see you guys next time. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.